What the f is going on with Bungie, man? I mean, seriously, how do you go from creating one of the most influential first-person shooters of all time to where you are now? Bungie literally feels like a studio that has completely lost its identity. They went from making Halo, a series that was loved by millions across the world, to giving us Destiny, a game that launched terribly, got a lot better, but then flip-flopped back and forth based on bad decisions and good decisions because clearly nobody at the studio knows what the fuck they're doing, to Destiny 2, a game that also has been full of ups and downs, and now we have gotten the official announcement that they're going to be cutting all development on that game on June 9th. It's officially reaching the end of the road. No more major content, and the big thing is that Destiny 3 isn't even in development. And because of that, layoffs are reportedly coming down the pipeline. And instead of trying to focus on making Destiny 3 into this very big and powerful thing, which it most likely would be, they're pulling their resources to focus on Marathon, a game that hasn't even come close to recouping its budget even months after release. And yes, I think Marathon is an incredibly fun game, but it is not a deep game, and it is not a game that has kept basically any of its audience. And until they figure that out, it's very clear that they shouldn't put everything into Marathon, because that's currently not gonna do anything for them. And they have the much safer option with Destiny 3. And honestly, the whole thing just feels surreal, because this was supposed to be one of Sony's crown jewel acquisitions, its biggest acquisition ever. They spent $3.6 billion on Bungie. And this was supposed to be their live service future. The studio was supposed to guide PlayStation into the next era of multiplayer gaming, providing some of the best gaming experience that you could expect. And instead, what we've watched over the last few years is canceled projects, layoffs, non-stop leadership issues, declining player counts, and now the slow death of the franchise that made Bungie what it is for modern gamers. And I think the part of this that hits people so hard is that to them, Destiny wasn't just another live service game. It was the live service game. It was their World of Warcraft. And to have it just fall completely flat, even though the game should have realistically ended 2 years ago. When they released the final shape, that was the farewell to Destiny 2. And that should have been the leaping off point to bring Destiny 3 and to really make Destiny what it should have been in the first place. The biggest online space for people who want that kind of experience. And they couldn't deliver because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they all wanted to do their own stupid inputs. And it clearly led them down the wrong path. And now, honestly, it feels like Bungie is standing at this really strange crossroads, where the studio that once helped shape the future of online gaming suddenly doesn't seem to know what its own future is anymore. Now listen, I don't want to pretend anything here, okay? I love Bungie. I love Halo 1, I played it a bazillion times. I love Halo 2, I love Halo 3, I love Halo Reach. I think Bungie did no wrong with Halo. Didn't make a single wrong decision, which you can't say about Bungie now because it seems like all they do is make wrong decisions. But for a time, Bungie was perfect. Everybody loved Bungie, everybody respected them. Destiny 1 came along and it was full of mistakes, but they doubled down and they improved on it and they made it way better. And Taken King is probably one of the best expansions that I've ever played in the history of expansions. I loved it. I was glued to that game. Then Destiny 2 came along and it was rough, but they made a lot of improvements and they got it to a better place. But then they couldn't keep it in that better place because they didn't know what the fuck they're doing, which you can clearly plainly see. And that game went on a roller coaster ride of good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And now it's bad. And now people are sitting there wondering what's going on. What are we going to do? And you're not going to do anything. You're going to shut it down. And you're not going to put resources on Destiny 3 because you don't really have those resources. And you're going to try and funnel things to Marathon, but you don't really know what you're doing with Marathon, even though there are a lot of big and good changes coming to Season 2 of Marathon. Right now, what you have to worry about is people are already falling off that game by the dozens, by the hundreds, by the thousands, to be honest. And now you're about to have a complete reset where people who spent dozens, if not hundreds of hours on the game, grinding up their stuff, you're going to take it all away from them and tell them to do it all again. And for the hardcore, those people are in it. They're ready. They're ready to do it again. They're willing to do it all over because they've done it in Tarkov. They've done it in Arc Raiders. You know, they're ready to go. They're ready for that grind. But the casuals aren't. And if a casual signs on and he sees that everything he worked for is gone, you probably lost him as a player. So what are you going to do to fix that? What's the game that's going to keep them in the Bungie loophole? Well, apparently you don't have one. And that's a big fucking mistake because Bungie used to not make mistakes like this. Bungie used to be knowing exactly what the player wanted, and they gave the player exactly what they wanted by just making what you liked and doing it better. Oh, Halo is perfect? Well, how do we make it more perfect? Let's give you Halo 2. Well, we want out of this, so what do we do as our last big hurrah? We'll give you Halo Reach, and everybody will celebrate because we're ready for more of whatever Bungie gives us. And I think right now it's like, is anybody excited for more of whatever Bungie has in store? Because it really doesn't seem like it. And when you read a lot of the stuff online, yeah, there's people who are celebrating this. People are like, I want Bungie to fail. I want all the employees to be laid off. I want them to fail. I want this whole thing to fall apart because fuck them for like over-evaluating themselves and ripping off Sony. Fuck them for shutting down Destiny. Fuck them for ruining Marathon, blah, blah, all that shit like that. But I don't want that. I want Bungie to come together and figure out their shit and do something that people actually love them for. Because Bungie is capable of that. Everybody knows that Bungie's capable of that. And yeah, sure, a lot of the people who we know are capable of that at Bungie who are responsible for the games that we love aren't there anymore. So it's hard to still have that trust in the studio because it's not exactly the same studio, but a lot of those people are still there. A lot of that leadership is still there. Do I think a lot of the leadership needs to go? Absolutely. And that should be clear to everybody because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Who's taking the blame for this? Is it Pete Parsons? Is it Sony? Where's Jason Jones? Who's taking the blame for what the fuck is going on here? And for why they seem to have no fucking clue about what to do next? Jason Schreier from Bloomberg reports, Bungie is planning a significant number of layoffs as it ends development on the long-running online shooter game Destiny 2. The company doesn't have a new project lined up for Destiny 2's development team after the game comes to an end next month. Bungie doesn't plan to immediately enter production on Destiny 3. The number of job cuts was not known. While our love for Destiny 2 has not changed, it has become clear that after the final shape, we have reached the time for our shared worlds and Destiny to live beyond Destiny 2. Bungie staff are looking to pitch and begin development of new projects, including in the Destiny franchise, but none have been greenlit, and there's no guarantee that any will move forward in a challenging market that has led companies like Sony to raise prices and cut costs. Here's the thing, the final shape came out like 2 fucking years ago, man. So what were you doing all this time? Yeah, and I understand you got Marathon. I understand you were spooling that up and you're trying to make Marathon work. But to even launch Marathon in the state that you did, with like 4 maps and minimal content and just a direction that seems to be confused by their own staff. It almost seems like they didn't know how to launch Marathon or who to launch it to. Which audience are we trying to appeal to? The hardcore? The casual? Both? They don't seem to know what they're doing. The changes that they have coming up for season 2 seem like they're trying to funnel it in one direction, which is the smart move, but is it enough to bring people in? It does not seem so, especially with this news. People already hate Bungie for cutting from Destiny and putting it towards Marathon because there's people who just have no interest in Marathon and they think that Marathon is like a woke slop fest or something. It's not, and if you played it, you would know that, but it is not Destiny. It's not the same game at all. So of course you'd be mad. Hey, this game that I love is losing resources and losing content because they want to focus on this instead, but I don't want to play this. Well, then this is responsible for the death of my game, so fuck this, right? That's essentially the argument. And it's a mistake. It clearly shows that they have no clue what they're doing by having 2 years during this time to figure out what they're going to do for Destiny 3 and doing nothing. Destiny is the only reason why Bungie is even still around at this point. Literally. It's the only thing that's brought them money. And now you're going to shut that off for Marathon, a game that's not making you money, and a game that most people don't even want to play, and a game that is bleeding players. And instead of greenlighting something that could be interesting and could bring people together, you don't greenlight anything. So now you're just running off a Marathon, which seems to be going maybe nowhere, and for all we know, might not exist in like a year. It's possible that Bungie won't exist in like a year, which is crazy because when you think about Bungie, you think of them almost as like, Bungie will never go away. Bungie made Halo. They'll never go away. But now who the fuck knows? When you mismanage your studio this much, when you disrespect your player base this much, of course you don't have fans anymore. Of course you don't have people who are willing to try everything that you put out. They have no faith. You fucked up Destiny until you fixed it. You fucked up Destiny 2 until you fixed it. And then you fucked it again. Marathon launched not great. It's a fun game, but not great. Maybe season 2 will make things better, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I don't know what Bungie's doing. And I don't know what Sony was doing looking at this and going, we have made the best decision here. Our dollars are being well spent. We have the future of live service here. We have these guys who know what they're doing with multiplayer games, multiplayer shooters. We trust them. Take all our billions. Bad decision after bad decision. And now you're never going to get the players back after this. Never. They can announce Destiny 3 probably tomorrow and be like, haha, just kidding, come back. And I don't think it'll work. I think players are burned by Destiny. I think players are burned by Bungie. And I think players are absolutely burned by Marathon. which is unfortunate because if more people gave Marathon a chance, they would find that it's actually a fun, good game. It just needs more. But clearly Bungie doesn't know how to do more anymore. All they know how to do is try and sell you microtransactions. And even then, like the Marathon ones, most of them are recolors. Great. Woo, great. It is 100% sad to see the current state of Bungie. It's sad to see what Destiny turned into, because Destiny is also responsible for some of the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game. Honestly, unbelievably fun. The raids are unbelievably fun. If you have a team that's willing to go through them, unbelievably fun. And they fucked it up. They had the model of a successful live service MMO like this is right in front of you with World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14. And they were like, oh, why don't we just cut content? Why don't we just vault things? Why don't we just change everything? Why don't we just do whatever we want? Why don't we just like fuck everything up every 6 months? Oh, look at us, we're Bungie. How come people won't buy our new game Marathon after we fucked up their entire experience with Destiny? What the hell? You're dumb. It's crazy, but you're dumb. Bungie had so much potential, so many opportunities, and they blew all of them, man. And it sucks that people are gonna get laid off. It sucks, but the blame is 100% on the Bungie leadership. Not the people who are trying to make something cool at Bungie. It's the people at the top who just don't know what the fuck they're doing, and all they know how to do is make bad decisions. You had it good for a long time, Bungie. You really did, and you could have had it good again. But bad decision after bad decision. To think that the people who made Halo, this is what you became. What the fuck happened, Bungie?